So, welcome once again. Jode, how you doing on Sunday morning?
Doing great. Back at our fireside chat without the fire.
So, this is a sequel. The other day I commented about seeing value in my book, Is Your Lifestyle Killing You? And what we decided to do to enhance the value to those who are interested in learning more, experiencing more, and retaining or gaining some of the value that we feel is in the book. I decided to do a very short per chapter summarization to pick out some highlights, to pick out some what I think were very valuable points, and in fact why I chose to write them. So what's our first chapter today, Jode?
Well, it's called Cultural Software. And in terms of what that means, how would you describe that to our listeners?
Perfect. So cultural software. This came to me when I realized that the human brain, Jode, is really no different than a computer. So what do? We get a computer and it's brand new. It has what they call a hard drive. So for those of us who have any ounce of computer literacy, it's basically where all of the messages, the software is stored. So when I tried to make the metaphor that I thought would be helpful, I realized that we come into this world, ladies and gentlemen, with what I call an empty hard drive or a
Blank chalkboard, yeah.
blank slate, yeah. And what happens is our software programs, the programs that run us, are basically given to us by someone else. So what does that mean? It means that our own authenticity is not discovered for years and years. In essence, folks, who you are is the sum product of what I call mother, father, teacher, preacher, whoever was in your world that basically laid down the rights and the wrongs and how to live your lives and how to think. And in essence, your belief systems.
Yeah, and I find it kind of interesting now that we're grandparents and you look at your grandchildren, especially under the age of 5, and you see how authentic they are. They act with no agenda. They don't think things through. How they are is what they do, and it's completely congruent and aligned in it. They're not thinking about who they're hurting or what this one told them or anything like that. It's pure. And something happens very early on in terms of being fed all this information that alters that.
Great. So that's a perfect scenario for cultural software. And the purpose of writing this, those of you who have connected with some of the things that I write and that I share, I'm always moving us back to the game of personal introspection. Why? When I send out my birthday letters to my patients, so much of that is taking an open and honest inventory to move ourselves, Jody, away from us, looking down at us. Many authors and many books, Eckhart Tolle talks about becoming the watcher of the thinker.
Right.
Wow. I mean, for me, that was profound. It's almost taking yourself away and looking at your mind and its thought processes. Bottom line, cultural software is an invitation to become aware of the fact that at some point in your life, we need to look at ourselves very openly, very honestly, and very fairly to recognize that who we are in our early years is not us. So I read a book many years ago, and it talked about the process of resurfacing. What is that? Resurfacing is the opportunity for anyone. Some of us, it happens at 14 and 15 years of age. Some of us, it's at age 40 and 50.
And some of us, it happens several times.
And how about never?
Yeah,
because we've never even heard a talk like this that brought us to the opportunity of self-assessment and self-evaluation. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this and sharing this today because probably more than any time else in our lifetime, I've listened to so many of my patients. We've listened to our friends and our family members, and we're caught in this quagmire of what is the truth? What is the truth politically? What is the truth medically? What is the truth in terms of how we live our lives? So the point of the matter is,
how much time are we taking with what is our own internal truth, our own internal voice? And that's what I think you're trying to get at with this chapter and the rest of the book. is to take that introspective journey, to give yourself the opportunity to hear your own voice. That doesn't mean the voices that were put into your software are wrong or right. It's just there hits different points in a person's life where if you don't step outside yourself and watch yourself and really take the time, you don't know if that's working for you now, or is that just societal's input and you're just going along with the herd? Or are you able to step outside yourself and truly take a look and hear your own inner voice and ignite your passion to live that congruency between who you feel you are inside and who you want to be to this world on the outside?
Beautiful. That's a great explanation. Thank you for that
You're
wisdom
very
there.
welcome.
So,
Been well trained.
Folks, all I ask is that if this makes any sense to you, I invite you, as always, to take a look at the book. I keep commenting that my 2020-2021 goal is to try to help and support people. Now, this is one of a million books, but I wrote it, and as I reread it, I keep telling Jody, I said, you know what, it's freaking good. It's got good messages. So, you don't even have to tell me, oh my God, I got something of great value. But if we're going to change, I would love for each of you to resurface if you haven't already. And honestly, I think we're all resurfacing always.
All the time.
And I will make one comment. For many of us, we have to go through a fair amount of suffering and pain. But I want you to recognize, to embrace it, whether it is the pain of a relationship problem, if it's the pain of a financial loss, if it's the pain of being let go at your job. You need to know that every single one of these events is there to serve you. I have always been taught by mentors of mine, Chuck, the very first question you must always ask is the question, how does this event serve me? So either you can sit and have a pity party for yourself and play the plum game of life, poor little unfortunate me, or use that time for reflection, use that time to be broken open and let it serve you. So Cultural Software, Chapter 1, there's 12 more to come, and we'll talk about it.
Thanks for joining us.
We greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
And thanks for
Have a
your
great
insight,
day.
Joe.
Yes.
Appreciate that as well. Have a wonderful day, guys.